Okay. Hi, my beautiful friends, and for those of you that don't know me, my name is Randy. I am really excited and happy to be putting this all together with you. It's really cool to see something that was just like a kind of a throwaway idea actually take form and become something, so thank you all so much. I know a lot of people have been putting in a lot of work. I do want to say that I apologize if I have maybe a different mindset as far as where this festival is going. I was not expecting 500 people when I created this idea. I came up with this idea. I was more so thinking about like the 1 to 200 people area, and I don't think that that is too far off still. So just kind of bear that in mind as I go through explaining my solution for our toilet issues over the weekend. For starters, I just want to mention, some of you know, some of you don't. I have a background in conservation, worked on trail for a few seasons, did a fire season last year. So I have plenty of experience pooping in the woods. I know how to do it safely, effectively, comfortably, and in a way that won't hurt the environment, which is really important. And so I think this solution will work. So let me kind of backtrack a little bit. When you are pooping in the woods, or you're camping, well, when you're camping with a bunch of your friends and you have to go, you have a couple options. You can dig cat holes, which I don't think should be out of our realm of possibility, and that's essentially encouraging people to bring trowels, whether it's a gardening trowel or a specific cat hole trowel. You go out anywhere that's at least 200 feet away from running water sources. Dig about 6 to 8 inches into the ground, do your business, bury it up, all said and done, that's good. That's part of the L&T practices that you can find posted anywhere. Or the second thing you could do is dig a latrine, and digging a latrine would consist of, again, about 6 to 8 inches deep, about 3 feet wide. It's essentially a trench that you and all of your buddies do your business in. And at the end of your visit in the woods, you just bury it up and you're good to go. I do want to say, technically, throwing toilet paper into these burial systems it's technically littering, but since toilet paper it will decompose, I think that we can cut our losses here and we can be okay with it. I am also open to looking into getting compostable toilet paper. It's used specifically for RVs and pit toilets. It just degrades a little bit faster, a little bit better for the environment. I'd be open to getting those and stocking them in these makeshift restrooms that I'm looking to create. So, without further ado, let me just kind of go ahead. So I made this video specifically because I wanted to make a physical diagram. It's a little bit easier, I think, to explain the system that way. So I have some things here. And I will link a couple of resources about where I came up with this idea, and also links to the items that we're going to be using. So what we will be using are 5-gallon buckets. I'm thinking having like 3 working bathrooms, because we can always create new ones if needed throughout the weekend. I think 3 is a really good number, and it's probably more than we really need. So we'll need 5-gallon buckets. We'll be cutting the bottoms off of these. Trash bags, these snap-on toilet lids. Hi, baby boy. Snap-on toilet lids, which, again, I'll link those. They're designed to snap onto 5-gallon buckets. Anyone that has lived out of a van or a vehicle, or just lived, that kind of a lifestyle, probably knows what I'm talking about. And digging tools. And these private pop-up shelters that I will also link below. So for this diagram, this jar is going to be the hole. This is the 5-gallon bucket. This mason jar lid is my snap-on toilet seat. And then I don't have any baggies to show you for the trash bag, so I just kind of wrapped up some saran wrap. So use your imagination, I guess. So we dig a hole. I'm thinking about 2 to 3 feet deep is going to be enough per toilet. And I'm totally willing to rent out pickmatics, shovels, whatever, like Pulaskis, whatever we may need to dig these holes in the Colorado rocky soil. Again, I have experience building trails and digging in these rocks and prying them out and using these tools, so I am up for that task. I've also heard that there is potentially power equipment that will dig some holes for us, so there's that. So hole about 2-3 feet deep, bucket with the hole cut out of the bottom. You're going to take a trash bag and also cut the hole out of the bottom. This is to line the bucket, just to ensure cleanup. When we clean up, we can kind of just take the trash bag out with some, rubber gloves. Just fold the trash bag in on itself, not have to come in contact with anything, and then just stuff it in another bag, and we're pretty much good to go. So we get this trash bag fitted like so. There's a hole. Tuck the top of the bag around the bucket. Nice and snugly so it doesn't come off and cause disaster. Take our snap-on toilet seat and snap it on, holding that trash bag in place. So now the bucket is fully lined with the trash bag. And then we also fold the bottom of the trash bag around the bottom of the bucket, and then snug that into the hole so that it's kind of pulled nice and taut. And then this gives the bucket stabilization. So the bottom of the bucket is in the hole. This is the ground. This is a toilet seat. It's lined on the inside. It will be elevated slightly out of the ground like a regular toilet, and also since it's snugged into that hole, it's nice and stable. You don't have to worry about it falling over. At this point, I think a lot of signage would be really great. I'm all about signage. Part of the issue I know that people are going to think about is smell. I will actually attach a link. So the best way to describe this idea is called an arbor loo. And what you can do is, if we can have like a big fire or something before, like at somebody's house, we can collect a lot of wood ash, or dirt will be just fine, but wood ash would probably be the best thing for decomposition. We can have a bucket in the private pop-up tent next to the toilet with a little, shovel, pail, shovel, with a sign that just says powder the donut. And that is kind of gross sounding, but that's what we would do when using a latrine. It helps keep the smell down. You just sprinkle a little bit of dust, dirt, in this case it would be firewood ash, over your turd, and it keeps the smell down. It keeps the bugs from forming too much throughout the weekend. Granted, this is not luxury. This is just comfort and convenience for people that don't really know how to squat over a hole in the ground. So lots of signage I think would be great. Really pushing, that this is going to be buried, given back to Mother Earth. Please do not throw trash in here. No tampons. Toilet paper only, if that. I think it would be really great if we could try to make signage convincing ladies to not throw their pee paper in their holes or on the ground in general. Seeing a bunch of toilet paper floating around in the woods is not a good look. And really, when you wipe pee, you can just throw it in the trash bag and no one's going to know. So if we could, signage, I think would be amazing. And then we could also explain, just dust your poo with a little wood ash when you're done. Thank you. Please be respectful, etc. So I got some cat treats to just show how this works. And pretty simple. But yeah, at the end of the day, and I'm also willing, since I've kind of created this idea, to, every few hours just make my rounds, see how we're doing on space and toilets, if they're getting filled up or not. Remember that because they're going into the earth, the pee isn't going to build up like it would in a porta potty. So it's not going to fill as quickly as a porta potty would. The pee is going to kind of drain out. It's mostly just the solids that are going to build on top of one another. So I don't think we have to worry about them filling up. But again, I'll do my due diligence to walk around, check, just make sure that everything is sound, things haven't fallen over. I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm going to pull trash out of the toilets. So really pushing home, no littering, leave no trace. Do not put trash in these toilets because this is just a hole in the ground. At the end of the day, sanitation, gear, gloves, masks, Lysol, whatever. Clean the lid, pop the lid off, trash bag. You know, like I said, it can just kind of, I guess we'd have to probably pull the bucket out first. And then just, you know, coming around that edge that hasn't been contaminated and just pulling it out and folding it on into itself. And then filling up the hole with the remaining wood ash and whatever we took out of the hole to bury it up at the end. So that's my little spiel. I'll link all those links. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I am totally open to upgrades to the system, criticisms of the system. I don't think it will cater necessarily to 500 people again, but I just don't see that for this event. So yeah, thanks.